Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the LTL podcast. It is August 5th, 2023. This is episode 51, and welcome back to the live show. The live show. What are you guys doing today? Were you just driving around? You were all just driving around, weren't you? We're just driving around, hanging out, driving around, hanging out. All right, let's go up here and recognize we are doing the Super Saturday show. Super Saturday. I have a presentation for you all tonight. I think you're going to like it. I worked hard on it this morning, but I want to recognize Lakota has become a new member. A new member. She's new. She's a member. Let's give her the tones. All right. AJ's here. Karen's here. Hi, Brian. I'm gutted. I'll miss another one of your lives, but I'm in the UK and we'll be in the land nod sadly. We'll watch it tomorrow because I'm in the replay crew. Well, thank you for stopping by really quick. Victorine's here. Brenda's here. Dina Jam's here. Jessica's here. She says, who's going to win the caption? We're going to find out. Judy says she's driving around in her automobile. Frenchie's here. We have Wolf Spirit. Hello. Who else do we got? Frasia's here. Tsunami with the Kohberger and the thumbs up. Love it. Angela's here. Pam is here. Says, hey, everyone. Tony says, it's Sunday for me. So I was Sunday driving around. I love it. Brittany B's here. Says, good evening, all. Susie's here as well. Good evening, Brian. Hello. Well, welcome in, everybody. The chat will fill in as we go. But I want to just remind everybody while we're all here, I'm going to bring up this from TMZ to give you a little bit of review, and then we're going to get into my presentation. Okay. From TMZ reports Idaho college student murders suspect Bryan Kohberger gives alibis, says late night drives are just my thing. I love that. Late night drives are just my thing. That's really great. All right. The suspected killer of the 4 University of Idaho students has served up an alibi for that fateful night, claiming he routinely drives around alone late into the evening. Just the lost soul in the night driving around, trying to find yourself. Bryan Kohberger filed a motion in Latah County Court in connection with the fatal stabbings of classmates Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xander Conodal, and Kaylee Gonzalez. They weren't classmates of Bryan in an off-campus house last November. I don't know who the editor was on that article. But it says Kohberger was formerly a criminology student at Washington State University and was charged in all 4 slayings and faces the death penalty if convicted. He has pled not guilty. In his court filing, Kohberger said he, quote, had long habit of going for drives alone, and often he would go for drives at night. I love this. He also noted that he did so late on November 12th and into November 13th, 2022, during the time of the murders, indicating he had nothing to do with them. He wasn't around. So Tsunami says, look at that thumb in my thumbnail pic. Oh, yeah, you are giving a thumbs up. It's great. I love it.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
That's really good. I just noticed that. All right. Also recorded Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania weeks after the deadly attack. Prosecutors say they linked Kohberger to the homicides after finding his DNA on a knife sheath at the crime scene. Other evidence, and by the way, Tsunami, thanks for the $2. Other evidence against Kohberger includes phone records and eyewitnesses who survived that frightening ordeal. So a little bit of review, just driving around, driving. So he likes to take late night drive. I love late night drives are just my thing. I love that. That's so good. That's really, really good. All right, let's get into my presentation. And what we're going to do, and if you're just coming in the room, get 79 people watching, smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. All right, let me see if I can do this correctly and not screw this up. Let's go. What I did today for the presentation was I went back to the PCA and I cut all the timelines out because I want to see how much driving around Mr. Kohberger was doing that night. So we're going to take a look at it, and then we're going to take a look at his response. Okay, so follow me here. And I clipped it, and I got it all lined up. Even though the PCA was kind of all out of order with the timeline, I cut all that up, and you'll see it as we go along. I'm going to read through the PCA in order of the timeline, and then we're going to look at the response. And I'm going to tell you, he was out driving around a lot. We're going to find that out. We're going to find out how much driving he did that night. Allegedly that night. All right. Let me see if I can get this working correctly. It should work, but I'm going to bring it. Hold on one second. Let's bring the chat over here. Let me refresh this really quick because I know they already bagged me. Yep, YouTube already got me. Haven't even done anything. Haven't sworn. It's ridiculous. They nail my streams all the time. YouTube, you suck. You completely suck. All right. Let's move this up. Just deal with me for a second here. I got to bring this over here. Perfect. Now I can present. Let's present. And I'm going to do my best to read this with my terrible fucking eyes. It might be all right. All right, let's do this. Presentation. The timeline. Okay. So let's see. So we got the timeline. I fixed the timeline so it reflects in the PCA. So we're going to go back to 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Now, this is at King Road. When you see the house in the background, this is at King Road. And then we're going to follow Kohberger's movements in cooperation with King Road. Okay. So as we know, from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the my voice cracked. The occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms, by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Knodel, who received a DoorDash under order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. All right. Here's Kohberger, so you can see his movement now. Okay. I'm going to try to read this the best I can. I'm going to have to look up. On November 13, 2022, at approximately 2:42 a.m. So right here, we were at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Now we're going to start getting the movements of Kohberger. At approximately 2:42 a.m., the 8458 phone was utilizing cell resources that provided coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington. Hereafter, for the Kohberger residence, at approximately 2:47 a.m., The 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of Kohberger's residence, consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the Kohberger residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network. That's when he turned it off. So he headed out, turned it off. The connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode or that the phone is turned off. That's interesting that they wouldn't have known that it went into airplane mode. I wonder if they can check a log or something like that on the phone, if that has any particular type of data that they can go back to see if someone actually put the phone into a particular mode. That'd be interesting to find out, and I wonder if something like that will come out at trial. I never really thought about that. Maybe someone knows in the chat. Or that the phone was turned off. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., in which the time it utilizes cell resources that provide coverage to ID State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesis, between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m. The phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on Idaho State Highway 95, Genesis, Idaho. Let's see. And then traveling west towards. So that's 2:42 a.m. to 5:26 a.m. Now, you have more movements of Kohberger. 2:44 a.m. He's getting closer to the house. Investigators were giving access to video footage on the WSU campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicated that at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13, 2022, a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed at WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street and Southeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan is consistent with the description of a white Elantra known as Suspect Vehicle 1 observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington towards SR 270. SR 270 connects to Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho, the camera footage from. Based on my training, now this is 2:47 a.m. to 4:48 a.m. Based on my training experience and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe that Kohberger was the user of the 8458 phone, which is likely the drive of the white Elantra, and observing departing Pullman, Washington. And that is the vehicle is likely Suspect Vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022, and the lack of 8458 phone reporting to the AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48, it's consistent with Kohberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. So Jennifer asks, I wonder if any of the victims were wearing an Apple Watch or Fitbit, so they are common that might have insight into the time of death. It takes your heart rate. Yeah, I think we've always tried to figure that out too. I think we looked at some photos and looked over, what available photos were of everybody. I don't think that anybody was ever wearing one, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't have one or wear one. But that's a great question. So 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. So we went from, you can see it here, 2:42, 2:44, 2:47. Now we're at 3 a.m. As part of the investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilized cellular towers in proximity to the King Road residence on November 13, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that Kohberger was associated to both the 2015 white Honda Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrants returns. A query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show that the 8458 phone utilizes cellular tower resources in close proximity to the King Road residence between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Well, that would make sense because if his phone was off, it wouldn't utilize those towers. A review of the camera footage indicated, now we're at 3:26 a.m. So we just went from 3 a.m. to 3:26 a.m. and 3:28 a.m. A review of the camera footage indicated a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive at Moscow, approximately 3:26 a.m., and westbound on Steiner Avenue in Idaho State 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. Yes, tongue twister. So I'm going to put it out there. I have a stutter, and I have mild form of dyslexia. So put me in the driver's seat, man. All right, we move on. 3:29. So we went from 3:26, 3:28, 3:29 to 4:20. A review of the footage of multiple videos obtained from King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Wilmena Drive. Based off of my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with very limited number of vehicles and travel in that area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that entered and exit this area during this time frame. So they are acknowledging that cars entered and exited during this time. And of course, we know and we've seen, allegedly the video of Linda Lane. That could be some of those cases out that, some of those cars that came and left. Lakota says, I'm good. Anyone would struggle trying to read legalese out loud. Yes. Nikki says she loves listening. And Stephanie says, I always do amazing job. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to do it. Try to do it here. So if everybody's just coming into the room, what we're doing, it's been kind of a little bit of a joke that we started last night, the driving around thing, driving around. So I wanted to see what Kohberger's movements were according to the arrest PCA that night. Let's see where he was. Let's see how much driving he did that night. Okay. Okay, so now we're at 4:04 a.m. And again, we're still with Kohberger here. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area of a fourth time at approximately 4:04. So here's the crime. The crime is this is where it's going to start. Okay, so just driving around. Daniel says, Brian, you're doing great. You're always great. That's why you have a loyal following, and sub count is growing fast. I just wish it would grow a little bit faster. I'm really wanting to get to that 10,000 sub mark. She says, I'm just driving around. Who's going to drive tonight? It's a great song, by the way, The Cars. That's so great. Okay. So let me back up again. So here's the crime. This is where the crime is going to be committed. We're at 4 a.m. Okay. It can be seen eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back eastbound on King. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen. I cannot wait to see that video in court if this goes to court. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see that. Lady for Justice is asking, off topic, is there a way to lower your volume when opening music? I'm sorry to complain. There's no way. I'm sorry. It's just the way YouTube It's just the way StreamYard does that. I would say if you have sensitivity or you have earplugs in, knowing when I go live, if you hear it go live, just turn down the volume or just mute me until I come up live. There's no way I can physically control that. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Nikki says, Bryan, a thing that bothers me, but I can't get a straight answer is on when people say he went by the coffee house apartments before and after. Do you? Well, let's read through this. I mean, I don't remember hearing anything about that. I mean, it could possibly be here in the PCA. Again, it's been 9 months since I really read through this. Katie says, leak some fake screenshots. You'll get subscribers. Yeah, I can't do that stuff. I got to keep the channel honest here. I got to keep things on. You turn up the radio autograph. That's a great song too. Do you know if he did that? Sorry, I pushed send before I finished it. I don't know. If it's not here in the PCA, and again, it's been months since I really read through this. There's a lot of bad information out there, Nikki. I just say stick to the facts. That's what we do here. We read through the PCA. We read through the case evidence. Hey, Rising, how are you? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. All right. So if everybody's just coming into the room, what we're doing tonight is, the alibi is that he was just driving around. Well, I wanted to trace his movements that night, according to the PCA. We'll see where he was driving around. I mean, clearly he was in and around the King Road residence. Roseanne says, I feel truly his phone on or off is going to help nail him. Technology of all sorts, including car black boxes, monitors, so much of what we do. Absolutely. 100%. Sarah says, there's so many people that want him to be honest. I can tell that. Be innocent. I can tell that. As everyone is trying to find solution as to why he got pinned so quickly without any evidence except for the DNA on the sheath. Well, we're going to have a lot of cast information. And I've said this before, that I think cast is really going to be the wave of the future in criminal trials because our phones capture everything. And, now you have to look around, and I know JRL was even down in Moscow just recently, and Pullman, and he's like showing all the areas where all these cameras are now. All that footage is going to be turned over, along all these routes. And, there's always constant investigation in this. We just saw that in the legal document that Ann Taylor put out about the alibi. They say they get discovery on a weekly basis. So the state is not stopping. It's continuing to do its investigation. And again, this is where it comes up. It says that, how we got so pinned so quickly without any evidence. How do we know? This is just a PCA, and people don't understand this. They don't understand what a probable cause affidavit is. That is just probable cause to arrest someone, to say this is the guy. And, like I was saying, and I know everybody gets bent out of shape when I say this, but when I had my conversation with Coffin Daffer the other day, I asked her, I said, how much evidence do you believe in this case that we've seen so far? And she's like, let me put out a deck of cards. What is there, 64 cards in a deck? She said, you've only seen the 2 of spades to the 5 of spades. That's it. That's all they've put out here so far. There's going to be so much evidence in this case. And again, evidence doesn't mean guilt. It doesn't mean guilt. Absolutely does not mean that. But I think there's a lot of evidence that's going to be seen in this case. I just saw Papa Roger pop in the room. He says, this PCA is a shadow of gray. The trial will be the full spectrum of color sent from my iPad. That's so good. So Sarah's saying, everyone is hoping that he is innocent now. What about the girl that came for saying that she saw 5 people smoking that morning? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that are the police getting? Okay, so let me just tell you this. I find it very interesting and we'll talk about these people that have supposedly come forward and know all this information. Why are they on YouTube doing a tour around YouTube? Why are they not calling the police? Why are they not talking to the FBI? Why are they so concerned with being on YouTube every day of the week? Do you believe that? And let me throw another one at you. We don't know these people from Timbuktu. Okay. This could be someone that's just made up, brought on a channel to get clicks and views. A lot of that goes on out there in the YouTube world. I would say stick to the channels that you feel are honest, stay away from the conspiracy. And I'm going to tell you, and I said this the other day when Tanya was hanging out with me. I said, Tanya, I think people are going to be really, really surprised. This is a lot more simpler than they think it is. And I think there's going to be a lot of channels out there and a lot of media sources that put a lot of false shit out there that is not going to be true in the end. And it's going to make a lot of these people look like jackasses. I think that. And I think sticking to the straight and narrow, sticking to the facts, discussing these cases in, a logical way, and putting the pieces together that way based off what we know as far as evidence to this point is probably going to be the way that this ends up. And again, there may be evidence that totally exonerates Bryan Kohberger at this point. And we know that he's an innocent guy to this point until proven guilty by a jury of his peers. Okay, he has that right to due process. But I'm going to tell you, it ain't looking too good. It ain't looking too good. He says he's just out driving around. He has no specific location that they can say that he was in, and he has no specific witness right now to testify to say that they were with him and knew that he was not at King Road. It doesn't look good. Things are adding up. It's piling up fast, in my opinion. All right, so we're at 404. Now we're going to go back inside the King Road house. So we've gotten Bryan outside the house. He's now moved. Now the crime is going to happen. But great questions. Thank you. Oh, of course. Kate's got it right. She says there's absolutely none of those creators will apologize. They'll just move on to the next conspiracy, in my opinion. Absolutely. All right, so DM now is going to make her statement. So 4 a.m. to 4:12 a.m. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonzalez playing with her dog in one of the upstairs rooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said that she heard what she thought was Gonzalez say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of the records obtained from the forensic download of Knodl's phone showed this could also have been Knodl, as her cellular phone indicated that she was likely awake using TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. Excuse me. We're going to move on here. Inside King Road still, 4:17 a.m. PCA. DM stated she looked out her bedroom and did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened the door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying from Knodl's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." God, that's chilling. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located in 112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Knodl's room. Yeah, it's super creepy. All right, we're still inside King Road. DM stated that she opened the door for the third time after she heard crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past DM. As she stood in a frozen shock phase, the male walked towards the backsliding glass door. DM locked herself in 4 a.m. to 4:20 room after seeing the male. DM then stated that she did not state that she recognized the male. I thought for a second she said she recognized them. I was like, whoa, it was right there in front of us this whole time. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. The combination of DM statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads, records of BF in DM's phone, and video of the suspect field described below leads investigators to believe that the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. Back to Kohberger. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of King Road residence at approximately 4:20 at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Juanetta. Based on my knowledge of the area, the review of the camera footage in the neighborhood that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during the time frame, I believe that suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at, I don't know this, what is this? Pelos River Drive. Pelos River Drive is south edge of Moscow and proceeded into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is... So now we're at 5:25 a.m. and 5:27 a.m. Let me look at the chat real quick. I wonder if Kohberger has been plucking his eyebrows before his court appearances. Bernice says we need to know the time of death. Yeah, so this is interesting. Kate says, does anyone remember Brian Enton saying he saw a security camera behind 1122 King when he was first in the Moscow? The house owner didn't want to talk about it. So let me just do this real quick, and I'm going to show you the house that Kate is talking about. Because that is on Juanetta, and I'm going to show you something. Let me just bring up Google Maps. Let me drop this for a second. Let me bring up Google Maps or Google Earth. Where are we? All right. So let's go into King. There's your camera positions, blurred, camera position, blurred. Let's go back up to, go back up. Whoa, what'd I do? It's going to be right here. We think there is a camera here. And this is Ridge, I'm sorry. We think this house has a camera behind it. Makes sense. Why would it be blurred? Yeah. Bernice says, find out where the cameras are. Brian Enton said it was a house on Willanetta. Possibly. I mean, there's tons of camera positions. I mean, you can just even scout around this neighborhood. Anything that's pretty much blurred probably has something to do with the investigation. I have seen photos from behind this house overlooking King Road, and you can see right into, let me go back out. You can see right into King's here, into this parking lot right here. And we think he came in and parked here and went over. because there's your house. It's King Road right here. He came into this parking lot and probably walked right through this woods. Here's your house. There's your camera position. We think he got picked up over here in this little kind of parking area. So let's go back to my presentation. Yeah, so the only thing that I think is going to probably throw a little bit of a monkey wrench, let's just say, all right, so, and I said this yesterday. So DM says, I think they will have him on camera, and that's why he can't say he was asleep at his home. Well, if you're asleep at your home, your phone, if it was on, but particularly between these 3 hours, it was off. Your phone would be pinging your Wi-Fi or your cell tower. But let's just say this. I think what the defense is going to do now is this. They're going to say, well, he's out driving around. Of course he was. And he did go around in that area. And you have him on camera. But you don't have him on camera walking into that house. So what? There was a 20-minute lag. He was pulled off the road somewhere in that parking lot and then decided to go home. He was tired. He just flew off. He peeled out. He took off. Right? Could be a possible defense. Look, you have camera footage. You have cell tower pings. He is moving towards that road. He went down near King Road. We have his car there. Yep. I don't think it will be that simple. They're obviously going to challenge it, but I'm just saying if it gets to that, yeah, but you don't have any video of him walking in that house or running in that house. You don't have any video of him coming out of that house. You have video of him down there. Doesn't necessarily mean there was a killer. He went down there to talk to a friend. Or actually, that would be stupid because he doesn't have a witness. But, he was going to meet someone there or whatever. I'm just throwing bullshit out there. Or he went down there, I don't know. He was just driving. It was just late night drive, blowing off steam. Just wanted to drive around, blah, 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 whatever. All right, so let's go back to the present. So 5:25 a.m. to 5:27 a.m. At approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan in which consistent with the description of suspect vehicle 1 was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and a WSU campus camera. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West I think it's Pelos. I might be wrong on that. River Drive in Moscow and intersects with the white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white Hyundai Elantra was observed on camera traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. Okay. Now we're going to go back to 12:36. We go ahead now. The next day, 12:36 p.m. Further analysis of the cell data provided showed that 8458 phone utilizes cellular resources on November 13, 2022, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via U.S. Highway 195 at approximately 12:36 p.m. The 8458 phone utilizes cell resources that would provide coverage to Kate Cups of Joe coffee stand located at 810. 12:46 p.m. to 1:04 p.m. and approximately 12:46 p.m. The 845 phone then utilizes cellular data in the area of Albertson's grocery store at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage obtained by Albertson's showed Kohberger exit the white Hyundai Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 at approximately 12:49 p.m. That's pretty big evidence. I never really realized that. Because if you can nail down that car, that he's in that Elantra that had been seen in and around King Road, they can match up that that footage, any identifiable markers, and any identifiable and identifying markings, or we know about the license plate, and they actually say that they see him getting out of the car. That never really dawned on me until you go back and actually read these things. Interior surveillance camera showed Kohberger walk through the store. I forgot all about this. Purchasing unknown items at checkout and leaves at approximately 1:04 p.m. Kohberger's possible path of travel is depicted below. That's crazy. I totally forgot about this. I totally forgot about this. I haven't read this in forever. Wow. It's great to go back over this, but that is actually a big, I just realized how big that is, because they show him exiting that car that they've been basically traveling through all this video footage. I have to admit, I've totally forgot about this. It's crazy. All right. Now, we're going to get the defense's response, the alibi. So basically that took us up from the day before, starting at 2 a.m., all the way up to 5:36 p.m. So 2 a.m. on the 12th to 5:36 p.m. on the 13th. The defense responses to the alibi. Here's the alibi. All right. Comes now that Bryan C. Kohberger, through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby objects to the state motion to compel motive defense of alibi, or alternatively to the bar certain evidence. Idaho Code 19-519 and IRC 12.1 required an alibi disclosure of a specific location with a specific location and witnesses to testify. By statutory defense, Mr. Kohberger may remain silent, yet testify that he was not at 1122 King Road, November 13, 2022. However, in an abundance of caution, and recognize that the court has authority to exclude witnesses, Mr. Kohberger has indicated he anticipates corroborating witnesses. And if anybody doesn't know what a corroborating witness is, I cut this together. A corroborating witness can be anyone whose testimony supports and confirms what has already been stated to the court. Friends, family members, CPA, a neighbor, a stranger who witnessed an incident, which would probably most likely in this case, or a coworker. So essentially, get them on their stand, poke holes in their story, bing, bang, boom. There you go. Okay, so some major points here in the response alibi. Mr. Kohberger has had a long habit of going for drives. I have to always say it like that. Often he would go for drives at night. He did so late on November 12th into November 13th, 2022. Mr. Kohberger is not claiming to be at a specific location at a specific time. At this time, there is no specific witness to precisely where Mr. Kohberger was at each moment of the hours between the late night of 2012 of November 12, 2022 and early mornings of November 13, 2022. He was out driving during the late night and early morning hours of November 12th and 13th, 2022. I mean, no location, no time of whereabouts, and no witness. I mean, are you all starting to wake up to this now? I hope this is changing some minds. This is changing some minds. There's no location, there's no time of his whereabouts, and there's no witness. I mean, this is almost borderline retarded that you would put that in this response alibi, in my opinion. Counsel for Mr. Kohberger is aware that the case law broadens the definition of the alibi with the statutory requirements of the specific location to more broadly include disclosure of information that tends to state the person claiming alibi was at a place other than the location of his offense. Mr. Kohberger's complied to the extent possible at this time. I mean, dude, if you were not in and around this house, if you were not in near that house, why are you not being like, I wasn't there. I have a receipt showing that I was getting gas. I was at a convenience store. I was at a supermarket. Oh, wait, I was with some friends. Here's a photo of us together. We're hanging out, drinking beers or whatever it is. Whoa. I don't know. Corroboration of Bryan Kohberger not being at 1122 King may be brought out through cross-examination of state witnesses. At this time, Mr. Kohberger cannot be specific about the possible witness and exactly what they will say. The defense has been hampered by the state's own choices. The state chose a secret grand jury rather than a planned preliminary hearing. That's the boo, boo, boo. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home statement. That's Ann Taylor going, boo, 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 boo. I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. This had the state moved forward with the preliminary hearing, the defense would have had the opportunity to develop testimony through cross-examination and witness presentation. No, you would have been able to get witnesses on the stand, poke holes in their story, and come up with a bullshit alibi. Basically, that's what I'm saying in my opinion. Oh, and by the way, if I did say the R word and that offended anybody, I apologize for that. Listen, I'm human. Things slip out. I'm sorry. Okay, defense response to alibi again. Instead, the defense has only received on July 27, 2023, a copy of the testimony that states chose to elicit. Review of such is underway. The defense had to obtain investigative materials from the state investigative counterparts, the FBI, through older compelling in the state to provide such materials. The state made draft disclosures just 2 weeks ago. The sufficiency of these disclosures is currently being analyzed. Corroboration of Mr. Kohberger not being at 112 King may be brought out through expert witness presentation. So maybe they're going to have someone that, has their own cast expert. Maybe they have someone that they're gonna line up. Someone that knows cell phone tower or pings. They know they have the DNA evidence expert. The defense has been diligently working to analyze relevant discovery materials and conduct its own investigation. Notably, the defense had to obtain court order to receive relevant discovery materials and delay hampers to the event. I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to watch this case. You're going to want to watch this trial because it is going to be a good one, and it's going to be messy, and there's going to be, mudslinging on both sides. I mean, if you want drama, Robert, that's great. If you want drama, then you're going to get drama. You're going to see drama in this. All right, let's look at some of this chat. We got Tanya here hanging out. Tanya, if you want to jump on and you want to talk a little bit about this, I would love to hear your interpretation of all of this because we haven't seen. Who wants Tanya to jump on the panel? Type it down there. Put some ones in the chat if they want Tanya to jump on, because I can drop the link for a couple minutes if she wants to jump on and hang out. She don't have to hang out in the chat. She can come on the panel. Kate says both Drunk Turkey and TNT seem to have dropped Kim like a hot potato, but she still says, look at all those ones. She just says she loves and talks to them all the time. Whatever. I don't pay attention to any of those channels, whatever. It doesn't bother me. They can do their own thing. Whatever. One if she wants. Look at all those ones. They're calling you on, Tanya. Corroboration of Kohberger was not being... Okay, we already read through that. Okay, so you're putting numbers before he even said anything. Oh, all right. I'll take that. I'll check out the Bryan Enton interview. Thank you. T, you want to jump on for a couple minutes? I'll drop the link for you. I'd like you to jump on. It'd be fun. Our Saturday night banger here. Mr. Kohberger was out. All right. So the defense acknowledges a vast amount of discovery has been provided. Discovery is received on a nearly weekly basis, and this is what I talked about. A case is always being investigated. There's always evidence being turned over. So everybody's sitting here saying, "Oh, they ain't got nothing. They have no evidence. There's no this, no that." There is piles of evidence in this case. Again, evidence doesn't mean guilt, but there's piles of evidence going on a weekly basis. State's motion to attempt to force the defense to open up its productive files is to let the state peek inside. The defense is stated that all that can firmly be stated at this time. This is not tribal ambush from the defense. This is defense requesting information as quickly as possible, yet in some incidents face the delay of requesting a court-ordered and obtained information. The state continuously uses opportunities to attempt a waiver of speedy trial. This decision left to Mr. Kohberger and Mr. Kohberger alone. Mr. Kohberger was out driving alone, just out alone. He's driving around, just hanging out. Corroborating evidence may come from cross-examination of state witnesses. Again, we're going to get those witnesses up on the stand. We're going to poke holes in it. And that's how we're going to have our alibi. Corroborating evidence may come from the presentation of defense experts. Mr. Kohberger is aware of and will comply with his continuing duty of disclosure information. The court may exempt Mr. Kohberger from further inquiry. Mr. Kohberger requests such an exception at this time, continue inquiry as the junction delves in this case investigation as well as productive. In support of the exemption, Mr. Kohberger is prepared to provide further detail as an ex parte, I think it's parte, hearing with the court. And this is signed N.T. Taylor. So what is an ex parte? Ex parte means from one party in Latin. In the legal context, ex parte is used in several manners around ethics and civil procedure. Legal ethics. In legal ethics, ex parte refers to improper contact with a party or a judge. Ethical rules typically forbid a lawyer from contacting the judge or opposing party without the other party's lawyer being present. A breach of this rule is referred to as improper ex parte contact. So would that be something that he's maybe writing to the judge? Hey, Babs, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Says great content, great channel. I like to think we do some pretty cool stuff over here. Thank you. If Tanya jumps on, I have something that I'm going to show her. Let's see. Peter Tragos breaks down ex parte was awesome. Well, yeah, he's a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't break that down on a legal. All right. Everybody, I had a little fun in the community chat, and I put this photo together the other day, and I said, capture. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. Thank you. I see a lot of new names over here. This is cool tonight. I put this little kind of driving around, just hanging out, driving around. I put this little, meme, I guess, little meme photo together. And I said, I dropped it on my community page, and I said, it's the Fozzie thumb. You should have quoted that. You should have said that on there. That probably would have won. I asked everybody to caption it. So we're gonna reveal who I thought was the best capture on this, and it actually got the most comments response to it that I could see when I was going through them, and I had a couple people laughing. They were in stitches over it, and so we'll reveal it. So let me do a little. Maybe we'll do a little music. How about we do a little music? Let's reveal. Wait for the music to kick in. All right. And the winner of the caption contest is Carrie H. And I think she's in the chat. And I thought this one was good because she said, see, dad, see, my dad doesn't go everywhere with me. I'm a big boy. And then Tanya below, she was like, I just lost reading this one. And then Brooke was like, oh my God, I'm fucking dead. So Carrie H, you have won a $25 gift card. I'll probably just send out a Target gift card or I'll do something. What you need to do, Carrie, I think you're in the room, is yeah, absolutely, Carrie. That's awesome. What you need to do is just email me at letstalklivepodcast@gmail.com and I'll get that $25 gift card out to you. Tanya's going to jump on here. We're going to talk a little bit. And congratulations. That's really cool. So we'll do those again. I think everybody liked that. The response to it was really cool. And it's fun. You know, we got to have a little bit of fun. We talk about super serious stuff here. You know, we have to laugh a little bit. It's not to laugh at any of the victims or anything like that. It's just to have a little fun. And you guys seem to have that. And, you know, if it ever becomes, I know JRL was doing stuff like this the other day. Hi, Tanya.
Hey, guys.
JRL was doing stuff like this the other day. And I said, you know, maybe I'll take some inspiration from him and try to do it. You should do one, Tanya. It'll be fun.
I think it's funny. I thought you were announcing the winner tomorrow. I was still trying to come up with one.
No.
I thought it was like really funny. I was like, what can I caption this to say? But Carrie's was the best.
It was great.
Well, there was a lot. There was lot.
Really good ones.
Because when I read hers, when I read a couple of them, I lost it. And then I went to hers and then I really lost it. And then I just couldn't stop laughing. So then I was like, okay, I have to comment on it because I was like, this is really funny. And I'm showing Vincent as he's driving because that's what you're supposed to be doing, you know? I'm like, look at this. Look at this. What can we caption this? What would you caption this picture to say? And he's like, is that Bryan? I'm like, yeah, he's just driving.
He's driving around. Driving around. There's white Elantra right there, you know? So the funny thing is, Brooke actually had some really good ones too. And I had a really hard choice between it, but I just saw I saw Brooke actually commented on this one. And then Tanya, you commented, said, that's gotta be the one. I mean, that's gotta be the one. So it was fun. Again, Carrie H, just reach out to me, email me your particulars. And then what I'm going to do is I will have you make a comment on one of my videos just to vet who you are. So I can make sure that you're the correct person that I'm sending this out, because anybody could literally email me and be like, so I'll give you a little code word to put under one of my videos to make sure that is you. And then we'll go from there. So congratulations. So, hey, Tanya, I gotta show you something in my presentation because I thought this was really interesting. And this is something that I might've missed back in the dizzy of reading through this.
Yeah.
Let me go back to Albertsons. I totally forgot about this.
Yeah. I'll be covering that part tomorrow in the PCA. I'm going to go over in depth, his travels of the day after.
Yeah, I literally just did it. Look at.
Yeah. Well, Friday. I think it was Friday night. We went over in depth his travels from his house to the crime scene, and then from the crime scene to his house, and then tonight from his house to the crime scene, and then tomorrow we'll do the middle or the end or whatever.
Yeah. Let me show you.
I think that'll be good.
Because I thought this. Hang on, where is it? Right here. Okay, this is very interesting. I totally forgot about this. I'm like, what the hell, man? So it says at approximately 12:46 p.m., the 845 phone utilizes cell data in the area of Albertsons Grocery at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage obtained from. I totally forgot about this. My voice just totally cracked.
Yeah. Oh, you don't remember them getting the footage from there? We've been wondering we've just been wondering if they know what he bought.
They showed him exiting the Elantra. That is huge. Because if you can go back to the footage of the time of the murders, line that up. Maybe there's an identifiable mark. We know about the license plate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I totally forgot about this because I haven't read this in 8 months.
Yeah, that's what I said. I read them so often. It's crazy to me. I've read them at least 100 times, and I've been reading the PA one a lot because it's a little shorter and it's a little easier to understand. To me, it is. But there was something today I saw in it. I forget what it was now, but I was like, oh wow, I forgot about that. It was something I said on my live. I was like, I forgot about that. Like, I remembered it, but I had forgotten, So,
Yeah.
because when you read them over, you do.
You do. You tend to remember stuff, or you forgot stuff, or you might have seen something a little bit different. And then it even said interior surveillance camera show Kohberger walk through the store, purchasing unknown items at the checkout and leave at approximately 104.
I'm thinking that he went through a self checkout, and I'm thinking they got him on that camera right there. Those cameras all up in your face too.
Yeah.
Like, especially the ones like I go to Target, when you're scanning your stuff, it's like, hello, you're like, oh, well, hello there. So I think that they will know what he got based on the cameras and the receipt. Even if it's cleaning, if it's cleaning products, it might just say cleaning aisle though. They might just have it grouped together. But if there's a camera right there, it should show him what he was getting. I thought maybe he was getting cleaning stuff there.
So Kate's asking, was he wearing gloves? We don't know.
We don't know.
There was some reports that he had been when he was back in PA, I believe.
I heard that too.
His parents' house. I mean, we really don't know for sure. We do know though, and there was a report out there that there was a news article, and I remember seeing it, that they said when they went in and arrested Kohberger, they busted in the house to arrest him. He was literally standing in the kitchen with gloves on, separating trash into plastic bags. Yeah,
and he was fully dressed, like he was going out for a run. Like he had on his tennis shoes and everything.
Yeah.
And then like a t-shirt and shorts. You don't sleep like that. Guys don't normally sleep with that many clothes on. He had on like boxers, short, like Under Armour shorts, a long sleeve shirt, socks, shoes. I was like, was he ready to run at any moment?
Right. Yeah, right. Give me 2 seconds here, because there was an email that was sent by one of my subscribers, and they asked, they sent me a video of, now this is being annoying. Good old Google. They said they sent me a video of Brian Enton talking about. Hang on, my email doesn't want to work. Damn it.
Mine was doing that. I think it's mine's disconnected or something.
Yeah, it's saying that I'm disconnected. Did you get that today too? One of the accounts of Google is disconnected.
I think that I set it up for like 2-factor or something, and I just didn't do the other one. So
let me see if I have. Maybe I can pull it up my phone and forward it to you, and you can pull it up.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying. Let's see. Yep, I'm gonna forward this to you, Tanya. If you can pull up the link on your screen and just share your screen with me, and I'll get it over to me. Let me just forward this to Tanya. There we go. It should be coming over to you.
Okay.
Security alert. Yeah, I know. Something's going on with my Google account. Maybe someone busted in. Maybe it's Kohberger.
Well, I hope it's okay. No, not yet. I'm still, because I know that Annie Elise's account, that's how they got her, was through her Google account.
They got hacked.
I got it. Yeah. It was, YouTube sent her a message and she opened it, and it looked like a legit like YouTube URL and stuff. And that's
do you see? Were you getting those things the other day that was like YouTube was like, we sent you a private video?
No, I didn't get that, but I saw that other people were getting it, but I didn't get it. Not that I saw.
That's a little sus. Because the thing that was really weird about it, I got something backstage the other day on the blue banner. Like they pop up and they're like, can you take this survey, or can you take this survey to see? It was something about like how we're going to start paying our creators. So I took the survey, and then like literally the next day I got that email. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is a response to that. Good thing I clicked on it on, I mean, probably a bad thing. I clicked on my iPhone. It led to a dead link, but I was like, what the hell was that? I mean, the iPhone's probably going to be a little bit more protected than my computer, but.
Sorry, I was bringing up the email on my phone because my email wasn't hooked up, but I don't know. It wasn't.
Yours is not hooked up either?
No, mine like acted funky today, but it's a video. So I'm trying to see if I can send it to my computer, like airdrop it.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I can. Okay, here we go.
Or just the link. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. If you share your screen.
And then I can, I just have to send this to myself. Oh, there we go. And then
we'll bring that up. This talks about, I guess, a camera position at one end. Walenetta that she was telling me.
Did I do it? Okay, cool. Yeah. I was always wondered how you did that on my.
Just go full screen on it.
Okay. I just control it on my side.
And then you're gonna have to play it. It felt weird. I was getting ready to play it. I'm like, I can't play it.
Let me know if you want me to pause it or anything.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and play it for you
Go
guys.
for it. Awesome.
Up until now, the assumption in Moscow has been that the killer approached the student's house from the front and then walked around the back, where, well, they might have slipped through the sliding glass door or that kitchen window. But what if that assumption is just backwards? What if the killer actually approached the house from the backyard? That is effectively a hill and a wooded area that would provide a heck of a lot of cover, even in the broad daylight. And if the killer then escaped the same way out, well, they could have easily slipped through those trees and climbed their way back up onto a street called Walenta Drive, where a getaway car could easily have been waiting. So I asked Bryan Enton to test out the theory, and he's back with me now live. A lot of times it's been hard for people to get that view because, it's the crime scene tape. You can't just wander around, but you have had a chance to get a really good look at this, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's hard to get back there. There's an apartment complex. Honestly, the apartment manager has been, not in the best of moods with everybody around, but we kind of became friendly with her and we've been able to go back there. And it's not as wooded as you think. I mean, you've seen the aerial pictures and it's not as steep as you would think. We were able to get back there and see if you could actually get up to that other neighborhood and road. And we're going to show you that in a couple of minutes, Ashley.
Okay, good. Don't go anywhere. I have to fit in this quick break, Bryan. But when we come back, we're going to show you Bryan's attempt to make it up from the back of the house, up the hill, through the trees to where a car could possibly have been waiting. Could that have been the hidden route for the killer to get away without a trace? Bryan's going to put the theory to a test and show you just how easy it actually was to make that clean getaway. That's next. We're used to seeing Bryan Enton at the front of the house on King Road updating us on the investigation. But today, Bryan, you spent some time actually behind the house testing the theory that the killer might have actually approached the crime scene and escaped from the back, maybe even hopping into a getaway car that he conveniently maybe parked on the street behind all those trees. So take me there.
Yeah, Ashley, there are ways to get away from the back of the house, which we learned today. Take a look. We went up earlier today in the daylight so you could get a better view. Okay, so we are at the back of the house where the murders happened. This is the house right here. You can see the police line is still up. I've shown you this parking lot before. There's this big parking lot right behind because there's an apartment building right over there. But we wanted to show you what's even further back behind the house. So follow me. You walk to the back of the parking lot over here, to the very back corner. And there's this trail right here. And you can tell that other people have walked on it before because the snow is packed down and there's footprints. So possibly students walking up to the neighborhood up above. Come around the trail here. It sort of loops around right by the backyard. Through the trees right here. To this fence line. And basically the little trail continues to loop around. I don't want to go in the backyard of the people who live back here, but we'll show you what's on the other side. Okay, so
can you pause it for a second?
I actually had something to tell you too.
I got something I was just
about your
thinking
theory.
About.
Is it about the theory that you had about the camera? Okay, I'm going in the same direction. Okay. Well, because Bryan, you had a theory. I think it was like you and Agent Chase were talking about it, about how there could have been a camera on the back end of that house on Walenta Drive.
It's Ridge.
And so
Ridge,
yeah. Yep. And so if he's if I forgot about that route. I forgot about this video. But if he was going that route, he might have gotten caught on that camera, like on that physical camera, like Bryan Kohberger allegedly could have been caught on someone's back camera.
That would be the route he would have taken.
That would have been the route, yeah.
Right there. And the thing that I'm thinking about this too, Tanya, do you see how, think about this, how, and I don't know if this is the right word, but how sophisticated it was to get through that. He didn't go down there just that night. He's traveled that. He knew that area. He's been down and in that area quite a few times, allegedly. Because there's like kind of see how Bryan kind of just navigated it. Yeah. I'm sure this Bryan had to walk up there quite a few times.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
A scout for the area to say, okay, now we're going to go up here. We're going to take a left. We're going to take a right. These little short, quick turns to get around the house. Yeah. It leads me to believe that Kohberger probably allegedly walked this this out
Yeah.
before in and
'Cause
around that
I'm
area.
yeah. Because I live in an apartment, and as of right now, I have a camera on the back side of my house and on my front door. Like, and it's an apartment inside of a building. It's like we're like Fort Knox around here. We're
Yeah.
down. But that when I saw that, I was like, oh, I was gonna pause it, but then I was like, I was giving it a little bit of time because I wanted to see where he was going. But I wonder if we rewound it, if you
Go
could
back.
see where he's
Yeah, go back.
standing, if you could see what the kind of house that was.
Yeah, let's go back.
Like, right.
So I just want to pull up. I
Even
just want to
this
talk
one.
real quick before you go hit play there.
Oh yeah.
Someone said in the chat, and I think it was Diana. She said, she said that she loves the dynamic of when you and I get on lives together. And I said, yeah. I said, just think of myself. Well, it does. It works really well because Tanya and I have very similar channels in the way that we present, this case, the way that we talk about it. We present it with the facts that are in front of us, and we make our determinations off that, and we try to make everything as honest as we can, and we keep the victims in mind. And I think that's what the difference is about our channels versus some of the other channels. We're not going to go off and just say a bunch of shit that isn't true. So
no, and then to come have to apologize to you, a couple of days later, like, just kidding about that.
Right. And listen, I don't want to say things where I have to turn around and apologize to a family or something, a community, and just look like a dick overall. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, play that. That's
yeah.
cool.
So let's see where he was going. I'll take it back just a little bit. Maybe we'll get a better.
Go back a little more.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a different.
There you go. Right there.
There we go. Yeah. Cause he's like right by the house here.
Yep.
So. Show us, Brian.
King is just below that.
There's an apartment building right over there.
Asking.
What is it? Oh,
I'm saying King is right behind him.
Oh, yeah.
So that little, I don't have my pointer, but that little gray area just behind him, that house, that's what King Road is. The King Road house, if anybody's wondering.
And there's like the little road there. Yeah.
Right.
But we wanted to show you what's even further back behind the house. So follow me. You walk to the back of the parking lot over here, to the very back corner. And there's this trail right here. And you can tell that other people have walked on it before because the snow is packed down and there's footprints. So possibly students walking up to the neighborhood up above. Come around the trail here. It sort of loops around right by the backyard. Through the trees right here.
It's just creepy because this could be the path that was walked.
And basically, the little trail continues to loop around. I don't want to go.
I mean, that house right there could have a camera. You can pause it
here, but we'll show you what's on the other side.
That house that's just behind that tree could have a camera.
Yeah, it could. It most certainly could. Wow, that's like really easy to get back there too. I mean,
and
what if the student showed him that?
Oh yeah, and he said that there's people that you can see their foot trail. People walk that path, so it's a known path.
Yeah.
All these little neighborhoods and everything, and and I lived in neighborhoods like this before too, where you have these little cut through areas that when you're just kids, you just did it. You're probably not supposed to be doing it, but you just did it because it's easier way to get from there to there than going all the way around. So and then it just becomes so common. People just don't say anything because it's like, it's just a bunch of kids walking through the yard.
Exactly. Yeah. We used to have kids that walked past like my mom's apartment, like where it was sat, like it was like underground almost. And like she would see their little feet every day. They were like in high school, but they would be like, cuss. One day this guy was like cussing. My mom yells out the window at him. Oh, it was funny. She's like, I'll give you a shirt to wear. Cause he was wearing like a tank top, like a wife beater, whatever they call them, like the men's like undershirts. He was just wearing that. And my mom's like, I'll give you a shirt. If you stop saying her. And she's like, was that the word you learned in school today? Cause he was saying like the F word. And then he turned around to her and she's like, I'll give you a shirt. And he was laughing. He loved it. I was like, oh gosh, mom made a friend. Okay, I'm going to play this again if you want. See, maybe we can see around the corner there a little bit more. That's crazy.
Side. Okay, so we're up on the road back behind the house. This house behind me,
this is
path
ridge
that I showed you. That path connects to the backyard of this house, and there's really a whole other neighborhood up here. We're going to show you.
This
so
is
that
ridge.
House has the balcony in the balcony, but it's like okay.
Hang on a second. Don't play yet. I want to see something. Let's match up where he is. So let me go to Google Earth. He said right behind
trying to see if you can see a number on that house, but I can't.
I'm going to pull up. I got it. It's right here. So this is essentially where Bryan Enton is right now. Here. Let me just show this real quick. So that's the house that he's standing behind right here.
Oh, wow. You were quick.
Yep. If you go up Ridge, just up a little ways, and I think I probably passed it.
I think you were right by it when you first came on there. I thought.
I'm looking for that house that's right
That's
here.
what I'm looking. Okay. I was looking for that. I was looking for the one with the camera.
Well, guess what? Where was that? Yeah, so here's your house. We used to do this like all night long in the backroom chats. Guess what? There's a camera position there too, I bet you.
Uh-huh. There's something there.
There's a person right there.
Hey, person.
Oh my God.
Is that
It's
Bryan Kohberger?
Bryan Kohberger.
In the summertime with his flip-flops on.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anyone went over that? Like, I'm surprised that no one has seen that, like, and went that route with that picture.
Right.
That's funny. I saw Bryan
where
Kohberger.
do I want to be? I want to be. Where am I?
The house is
I'm all
right down
screwed
there.
up
Yeah.
now. I'm all screwed up now. Ah! All right, there's King. All right.
The house you're looking for is going to be over here. Like where the white two buildings are.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, this one right here. That's the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blue house is just to the right here. So the blue house is just to the left.
So it's pretty close. It's really close.
Right here. It's close.
Oh wow, it's really close.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was kind of. I'm horrible with Google Maps. I've only done it like 4 or 5 times. I don't even know how to drop the little guy. I don't even know how to do that. You just. I'm terrible at maps.
So we found that, which
we
is
get through it though.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see where else he goes. I think he's going to get in his car and drive.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission.
He drives.
I'm gonna get in the car and drive you up.
It's going to go right by that house. I guarantee you.
And to show you what's up here, because it's interesting. You know, you've got the neighborhood down below where the apartments are, the college students. But up here, if you came up that path, you could have parked up here somewhere. Pan this way and show you. When you come around this corner, there's an intersection
the house
here.
that's blurred out is to
That's
the
a
left.
dead end street that way. This way is not a dead end street. This is Ridge Road. So Walenta Drive we were on. This is Ridge Road.
Ready?
You see, there's a whole other neighborhood up here. Ton of houses.
Right here to the left is that
area
house.
Down below connects
Boom.
to this whole area
Right
up here.
there. You just passed it.
So you saw Ashley go.
Interesting.
So I can go back a little bit if you want.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Was it right here?
A little bit more back. Right. Yep. Play there.
Right here.
Yep.
You see, there's a whole other neighborhood up here.
Right to the left.
Ton
just
of
past
houses.
this car.
And that area
That one?
That house. Yep.
Oh.
down below connects to this whole area up here. So you saw actually go up that path. It connects to that other yard that I showed you, and then you've got a whole nother area up there. A lot of places you could park and a lot of ways to get out.
I have 2 questions for you. One is, how quickly could you have made it from, say, the back?
What's the date on this
sliding
video,
glass door,
Tanya?
out through the backyard and through sort of those woods and the trail up to Walenda Road where you were just driving?
Doesn't tell me. Oops.
Will
if you click in the
what would you say?
description, it will.
A minute?
It will.
A minute. There's also snow. Maybe a minute. 45 seconds to a minute if you were really going fast, I would say.
Well, there's snow now, but there wasn't so much snow back then, right? It was pretty good footing at that.
It won't give me a description because I can't go backwards. I shared the video to my like I did like an airdrop, so it's not showing me
Oh,
where I can go
maybe-
backwards on the arrow.
I forget who dropped it. It snowed after. Yeah, there was no snow that night.
Yeah, there was no snow the night of the 13th, or I think that it snowed it was either the night after or the next night.
I'll
It was
find the
really,
video.
really, really close. Because I have a bunch of pictures from the day of where it shows no snow. There was a light coating in the spots where there was like shade. There was like a little bit of a light coating there, but none on the roads. Absolutely zero. No salt on the roads either, like the Linda Lane footage shows. I noticed that there's salt on the ground in that footage. Well, there's the roads
December
are clear.
16th.
So
December 16th.
December 16th. So
yeah.
that's a little bit while afterwards then.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that long afterwards because, he lived there for a while. Bryan did. And he had that little jacket on. He had that little like blue jacket he wore the whole time. And I'm like, are you warm? Like, I love his reporting. I was actually trying to read the PCA really quick because I wanted to see where it said where he's departing. It says he's leaving the King Road area. Okay. Highways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it says suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling on Walenta Drive.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's, I'm wondering which, there's so many cameras over there. I feel like now.
If you all have any questions for me or Tanya, you can make a queue and then put your question. We'll take questions for a couple more minutes before I wrap this one up.
Yeah.
So if you guys all have any questions, drop them in the chat. And so what do you think? What do you think of this alibi?
I think it's a joke. I think he should have just went with, I don't know what I was doing. That would have been better. Or if you're going to say you're driving between the hours of 2:44 when they caught you on camera the first time and 5:27. Like, don't put yourself the November 12th. You started driving the night before.
That is, I think that's a really dumb move on her part.
So
it's saying like, hey, you were out on the 12th and the 13th. And
you didn't go home. Like, that means you drove for like 6 hours. You were just cruising around.
And then what are you going to say? It's just coincidence that you were driving around. You got caught on all of these cameras and cell information, but we have no video. Let's just say they have no video of him going like, look, we caught you in all these areas, but there's no video of him actually going in the house. So, but it's just a coincidence that he was in and around that area and these murders happened. I mean, it's just statistically is impossible.
Well, and that's why cops don't believe in coincidences. There used to be, before the 90s, we didn't have DNA. So they had to go on their gut instinct. They had to go on the totality of evidence and whether that is likely and some common sense. Is it likely or less likely the person did it? And I think that no matter what, there's going to still be people that feel like I don't know. I don't know if they think he's innocent or they think the criminal justice system is flawed. But there's going to be those people that no matter what comes out, they're going to say he didn't do it. Yeah. Or,
there's
someone else helped him.
Now they keep saying it. I'm like,
I know.
This here, if you had any,
any doubt.
Any doubt in,
why didn't you say this 6 months ago?
Yeah. And even people that like even people that are on mainstream media, like they can't even keep a straight face when they talk about this now. Mm-mm. It's just like, are you serious? And they've been around cases more than you and I have for years doing this.
It's because we thought Ann Taylor was going to come with the good alibi. But I guess Ann Taylor is that she doesn't make the big bucks. That's probably why, all the time.
So Teresa's got a question. Yes. Teresa's got a question. She says, statement. PA car stickers are very particular. That might be another identifier. Okay.
Like where they put their their things. I lived in PA, but I never had one. Yeah.
Never had an inspection sticker?
And I've had inspection stickers, but I thought you meant like the sticker that goes on your license plate. I thought maybe that's what she meant.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Diana says, and then you came back 10 minutes the next morning.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I forgot. Yeah. Then he comes back and cruises around the house. But like, you don't sleep. You just, you were just like, I had a fantastic time driving those 6 hours over there last night. I'm going to go do it again, but only for 10 minutes this time. And I'm going to take my phone with me because last time I got lost, and I don't want to get lost this time, even though I can just go straight home. Like that's what I was showing tonight, like how he went through like these little roads. Like he went through this back road. You can't fit 2 cars on it at the same time. There's no lights. I mean,
Right.
it's a backcountry road. There's
Yeah.
gravel on both sides. If you catch that gravel, you're going off the side. I mean, it's a pretty scary back road. And I was like, he's just traveling on that, like
It's just driving around, Tanya. It's just driving around.
Cruising.
It's cruising.
I love the picture that you put together.
Lakota says, are either of you planning to attend this trial or any portion of it if possible? I will try. It's just going to depend on my work life because I work a lot. And to get time off to go, I'm going to a trial. My boss will be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't actually even know, you know, my YouTube thing, but I will never stop. I will never stop doing this.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
mean,
stop.
I would always be talking about it though. I think everyone, if I ever had a job, they would want to know.
Some of my colleagues know about it, but my upper, it's not their business.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's true. I wouldn't let my uppers.
It does not put the company in any type of jeopardy or anything like that. So it's not your business. It's just something that I do as a hobby of mine.
I worked as a company that I was like the, I guess I was the best one that could talk on a camera. I don't know. I just would do like, I started doing like little videos for my store, and the company was like, oh, that's such a good idea. Let's have Tanya do all of our training videos. I didn't get paid anymore to do that.
No,
I was like,
no, they never do.
So and they didn't give me a script. So they were like, just show them how to upsell. So I had to do the whole skit. I had to get other people to help me. And then I started doing that. But if I would have been doing YouTube and worked there, they would have been like, no, you can't do YouTube. You sign this paper. Everything you post is ours.
Yeah, I'm not in any type of conflict of interest or anything. So
no,
I'm in a totally unrelated business. So
yeah.
So Kate asks, what is the defense going to say he did while suspect vehicle 1 is missing off cams right where Bryan Enton showed the back parking lot of Queen Road Apartments? What is the defense going to say? Yeah. I'm trying to read this. What are defense gonna say he did while suspect vehicle 1 was missing off cams right where Bryan Enton showed the back parking lot of Queen Road? I think maybe she's saying being like caught on camera, maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'm a little confused.
I thought he meant like missing off the cameras when he's pulling in that back parking lot up there.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean that's where you would park, and that's why you don't see him from 404 to 420, and then at 420 the car leaves at a high rate of speed, and that's when these crimes just so happen to happen.
Right. So Google, let's see. Doodlebug says go back to Google Maps, 1260 Walnut, zoom in on the left side of the house deck area. Is that cars parked behind the house? All right, let's take a look. What was it? 1260?
1260 Walnut. And zoom in on the left side.
People have been Googling this.
Have they? Oh, did it?
Yeah. All right, let's take a look.
What's going over there at 1260 Walnut?
All right, let's drop in. Let's hang out. Let's just drive around. We'll take a little drive. Oh, it's the blue house.
Hey, they got something else on this.
She said, what, to the left?
To the left
side of the house deck area. Well, that's 1260.
Oh, I think she meant on the other side, maybe when Bryan Enton was on the other side, and you could see the deck area, but you couldn't see any. I don't know if you could see any cars on that side or not.
Let me go.
If I can go back.
Let me go here and see if we can see anything. I mean, that's all.
And then, and then on the other one, you can't see it when he's in the back. You can't see on the other side at all. See if there's cars or anything.
It's blurred out there on the ground. There's a camera.
Let me see. Why would it be blurred on the ground? That's weird. Is it because you're going too fast on the ground? Maybe.
Oh no.
What's on the ground, man? Is that an underground? Is that the underground tunnel entrance?
Yeah, that's where the tunnel is. I can't with that shit. That's just, oh my gosh. Oh, and this was the other one too. Do you see the shoes?
I know.
Rug area.
I heard that I actually heard that that's for like that area. It's for whenever you're like graduating or you're moving to like a new house or something like that, or new, like leaving it leaving or something. But yeah, I know. Yeah, they're like, yeah, they corner off the streets. I'm like, oh, geez, because that's what.
Or, maybe it's
Maybe they
symbolic
just
of
threw
what
their
happened.
shoes up there. Maybe they just threw their shoes up there because they're dumbasses, though. I mean, you know what I mean? Like literally, like what if there's 4 or 5 of y'all, you're drunk in the middle, it's summertime and you're like, I'm gonna throw my shoes up on the telephone wire because that's what drug dealers do. You know what I mean? Then 3 of you do it because one person does it, everyone else has to do it,
Right.
So then that's how 3 pairs of shoes get stuck up there and nobody can get them down because y'all a bunch of crazies had some drinks and threw your shoes up there. I can see people doing that. It's college. You do weird things in college.
You do a lot of weird things in college.
You do. That's your time
Did you
to
go to
be
college?
weird. Yeah. But I didn't go
college?
to a university. I went to a university, but I went online. So I didn't get to
You didn't do the whole campus experience.
No, but I lived through my friends. So like, you know what I mean? Like all my friends went to school. So a lot of them went to like OU, which is a big one. That's like the biggest party school in the nation. And that's not a good thing. But we would go there a lot. And then Ohio State. And that's where Vincent went, was Ohio State.
Oh, to clarify, I mean, what he was doing is just sitting in his car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that when he got there, I don't think he sat in his car very long. I think he literally parked and he went right in.
That was it. That's why.
That's why he was doing the circles for so long.
I think the circling was to build up the guts.
Me too.
That's
absolutely.
that make or break moment, and you're trying to get over that
Mm-hmm.
fear. The fear. Your adrenaline's pumping. Your heart is going. You're gearing up for this. You're getting into it, and then you just go.
Yeah. And I think that when he stopped, that's what it was. He stopped and he was like, okay, go time.
Yeah.
And just
go.
went.
Right. So JC says, anyone notice his right hand in the second Indiana body cam video? Looks like it's serious wound on it outside his wrist, especially if you zoom in. Yeah, I covered that already. And I do somewhat agree on that.
I thought it might have been the bending of his wrist.
Could be a bend, could be lighting, could be a scratch.
Mine kind of does it.
Or maybe he's just a nervous person and scratches a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We do know he has like OCD and stuff like that. So yeah,
well, his hands were, we were watching something and his hands were, the first time I went to court, I got a real good image of him, like his hands, like, I don't know where I got it from either because I hadn't seen the image before, but it showed his hands and it does look like he was washing them, like chemical burn or something. Yeah. Like they're not dry per se, like a chemical burn does, but they're like so purple. It's not a circulation thing. Like I thought. I have real bad circulation. I don't think that's what it is. I don't know. It looks like some sort of like reaction to something, maybe like cleaning agent.
Sure. Parker says, I love the collaboration. Thank you so much. Mink's got a question for you. He says, so Titanium thinks he's guilty in the eye roll.
Yeah, I think that as of right now, I mean, allegedly he's the person that, I'm not going to say allegedly. According to the PCA and what I've read and what I've seen from the press releases, the PCA, and that's really all I'm going to go on. I feel like that the cops, the officers, the FBI, the Moscow police, the Idaho State Police, the U.S. Marshals, the Pennsylvania State Police, I believe that all of those agencies, they collaborated together and they did a fantastic job. And they were able to find one man out of all of the people in the world, test his DNA and get that direct match of that octillions. And I think they did a fantastic job. And I think we're going to see him at trial if he's guilty or not. Yeah. I think that we're going to have a guilty verdict. That's where I see it. And that's just me. As of right now, that's where I see it. But I'm open to having a change of opinion if there's some facts out there. If there's another PCA I don't know about.
I'm going to tell you right now. PCA. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, with that alibi, it leaves all doubt at this point.
It really did for me. Yeah.
That's a really poor alibi.
Yeah.
It's a really poor alibi. And I just don't know how anybody could explain that at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in it. And you're actually saying that he was out in and around that house, but he wasn't in there though.
And nobody, they're like, and nobody was with him. But during trial, somebody might say something up on the stand that's going to corroborate it, but we don't know. That's exactly what they said. They were like, I'm like, what?
See, what Ann Taylor wanted was that preliminary hearing because she could poke holes in everyone's story. You get some shaky witnesses on the stand, you can start poking some holes, and it looks
she
better
will
for
know.
you.
She'll know what they have. She'll know what they're like. She
Right.
would, because this is supposed to be a
She
secret
could
grand
tailor
jury. She
her
wasn't supposed to
defense.
get that stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
She
and I
could
think
tailor her defense.
and I said it last night. I said,
Ironically,
and I hate to
Taylor.
say it, but I think she is throwing a fit
She
because
is
she didn't get her
throwing a fit.
way. She's pissed. She didn't get her way.
I mean, this is what did it for me. Mr. Kohberger has a long habit of going for drives alone. Often he would do drives at night. He did so on the late of November 12th and into November 3rd. Like, why would you fucking even say that? Mr. Kohberger is not claiming to be in a specific location at a specific time. And at this time, he has no specific witness to precisely where Mr. Kohberger was at each moment of the hours between the night of November 12th, 2022 and the early mornings. That is horrible. If I was Kohberger, I would be pissed. I mean, if he didn't know about this, that she just threw this together and got it out there, I would be pissed.
Do you think he don't know?
Well, and the only other way that I look at it is maybe he wants to be caught. I mean, maybe he wants to be caught. I don't know.
And I was watching something last night,
sensationalism of it,
and it made perfect sense. And they were talking about if this is his alibi, he's going to have to take the stand and prove
100%.
this somehow. Like, because nobody is going to be able to prove it like he can prove it with his own mouth and his own words. And I was like, oh, I like that guy's idea, So, but I mean, who says that they were driving from November 12th? Did you not read the PCA, Ann Taylor?
Yeah.
You didn't have to go back that far, sweetheart, unless there's something we don't know. And they have a video of him buying some stuff or doing some shady, or maybe he wasn't even doing nothing shady at the time. Maybe he was just cruising around at that point. But
just driving around.
Yeah.
Just driving around, Tom.
Maybe it's just driving around, going to pick up that next Tinder date.
Yeah.
Somebody swiped right.
Oh boy. I'll tell you, this case gets weirder and weirder every day.
Yeah. And I think if there was somebody involved with this, along with Bryan, they would have been caught, because if the criminology student is going to get caught, I think the person with them will get caught. And I also think that if he had somebody with him, he would have been like, I was with this dude, he's my witness. They would have used each other. They could use each other as their alibi. Like, I was with him, I was with him, but what everybody's going to say about the whole, well, did anyone else get arrested? If that was true, that he said that, and then it's like, I don't know if he's muddying the waters with those little things, or if he's doing them on purpose. I don't know if he's smart or not smart at this point, because some of the stuff he does, it's like, are you a third grader? Is this a third grader writing this? Like, the alibi. I'm sorry. There's been other, documents that they've come out with where they're just kind of going back and forth with each other. But this one takes the cake. This one, because I sincerely didn't think that we were going to get an alibi till trial. I thought the judge had said that, like, because you guys don't have all the evidence, like in the last court filings, I thought he said we're going to extend it and give it to trial to produce it, because as the evidence is coming in, you already have a 37-day extension, and the prosecution's not getting it to give it to you guys. Right. So I thought that we weren't going to hear it until trial or right around trial, and for them just to drop that, here you go. Well, thank you.
So Rackmaster says, this dude is 100% guilty in my opinion. If you believe in consciousness that there's so many that point to be K, coincidences, there's so many point to be K. The defense blew the alibi. I think this is that they have because the state can provide he wasn't home. Absolutely. So really ask, why is the state so worried about Bethany Funk? Well, the only thing that I could think about that is if you have Bethany Funk and you have Dylan Mortensen, okay, obviously they were both in that house. Okay. Dylan is the one that she's saying that she saw him. Okay. But they questioned Bethany Funk and she says, I didn't hear anything. I was sleeping. I didn't wake up or whatever. But the only weird thing about that is when you go back to the PCA, it says with the download and the forensic downloads of the phones, that's where I think that they were texting, or it was some kind of messaging was going on, or maybe a phone call that woke her up at the last minute. But let's just say she didn't hear anything. She was just dead asleep.
Bethany could have been texting her boyfriend and didn't hear anything. She could have been using her phone, not texting Dylan. I mean, just because their phones are both active, Dylan could have been like looking up, is there a serial killer in my house on Google or something? You know what I mean? Like, because people Google weird shit. And then Bethany could have been downstairs, none the wiser, because where her bedroom is located, it's on the other side downstairs. maybe she didn't hear anything, see anything. She's texting a boyfriend after being out all
Sure.
night.
Could be.
That's what I thought, maybe.
Right, and it just shows that she was up. She was up.
It just shows that
but
she was up.
didn't hear anything. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. We weren't there.
Nope.
We weren't there, but we'll find
But
out.
but I think that they did talk to her, because they were saying the defense was wanting to talk to her, and then they squashed it. But they said that she wasn't allowed. She wasn't going to come up to Idaho to testify, but they could come and send down someone to speak with her.
Right.
And I'm sure that they did. They had that
Well, I
opportunity.
heard they were at the grand jury hearing.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Dylan and Bethany were there.
That was in the Airmail article I read. I don't know if Howard Bloom knows what he's talking about, but that's where it was.
I don't. I read like one or two of his articles, and I just don't need to read them again. So
I've read all 5 of them, and they
Yeah.
are. I don't know why he uses the words he uses, but my golly.
Well, because he thinks Kohberger's innocent.
Mhm. Well, this one actually was an okay read, because I could read it, and like the words weren't like, he'll use big words, but it's not like it's words that no one's ever used before in the English
He
language.
just does that to show like I'm so smart.
I think that's what he does, and he dumbed it down a little bit this time, I think, because people were probably giving him a hard time, because there's not as many. I was like, oh, this wasn't that bad of a read. I mean, it was better than some of the other ones. Like the first one he
Yeah.
wrote, the way he described the victims, it was very
Yeah.
uncalled for.
Kate says, will the defense have seen all the security and ring camera footage, or the prosecution kept some for trial, like video of Ridge Road house? No, they would have to show all that,
Mhm.
because that's discovery.
Discovery, yep.
If it's in evidence, that's discovery. They would have the rights to look through that. As far as them looking at it now, we don't know. This 51 terabytes. That's
And
all
they're actually extremely lucky, because they're getting that grand jury too. So they're not only getting all of the discovery, but they're getting the grand jury transcripts.
I need to hear where Riddler thinks that the state is worried about Bethany Funk. Like, where did you hear that?
Yeah, I didn't know that the state was. I never heard
The grand jury quashed the Bethany Funk interview, from what I was told. Okay, where is that in a legal document, or is that you're hearing that from another channel?
Yeah, because the grand jury didn't squash the BF. Yeah,
they
were supposed to go down, and they were supposed to interview her. That was like that was just like their, like, you know what I mean, like they like both sided on that, and they're like, okay, you're not going to bring her up here, make her come up here, but we can go down to like, our investigator can go down and talk to her.
Didn't Ann Taylor talk to her?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think that they.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ann Taylor's team talked to her. It was an investigator, I believe.
If you have an article, or something that's like a legitimate article, send it to me. I'll be glad to read through it and pull it up. Or if you have something now, I'd like to know where you heard that from. If it was another channel, I get to see a legal document or an article or something. I'm not saying that it's not true, because it could be, but I didn't remember reading anything about that.
Yeah, I don't remember reading that either.
So I need your email. It's right below. Let's talk live podcast at gmail.com. It's right on the crawler there.
It says, I think the state's protecting Bethany. I believe she's extremely traumatized.
Well, I think they both are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think DM and Bethany both are.
And there was a picture of Bethany out recently. It was like, I think it was like her at a baseball game or something, and she looked really good. And I was really happy for her to be able to be out with a friend and doing something that wasn't like, and you know what I mean, there wasn't a bunch of pictures of her. It was only one I saw. So it wasn't like I don't believe people were bothering her, because she should be able to live her life. I mean, she can't live it right now. She's not living it. And for her to be able to maybe disconnect and go to a baseball game and not think about something for like a few hours, I think that's nice that she's able to do that. I couldn't imagine being in her position. You're 20 years old. Just think about when you were 20 years old, guys, because all of us are over 20 in this chat. We've all been over 20 for a while, I think, in this chat. And I think it's safe to say, 20 is pretty young. And like, when you're 20, you're a completely different person.
Right.
You're completely different. And I just feel like it's just so sad.
It just sucks. It sucks that all these people had to go through this. It's not only the victims, their families, it's the community, it's the school. I mean, they're going to have to live with this. This never goes away.
Yeah.
This will stay forever and ever and ever and ever. Especially
people like Jack.
Right.
That have that really intimate connection with one or two of the victims. Like, he knew Maddie so well too, and Xana and Ethan, but really knew Kaylee and Maddie and her family. And
don't know what happened with my email, but it's wacky tonight.
Yeah, I need to fix mine too.
Let's see if
Write that down.
I know he's going to send me an article, and I'm not going to be able to get it because my email's screwed right now. Let me see. I might have to forward it to you again.
Okay, did my phone die? No way. I swear my stuff's breaking.
Everything is acting up on mine.
I know, like, well, this is a brand new phone. Well, it's not brand new. I just got it last year, though. I
I
think.
just signed out of there. Oh no, I'm all screwed up.
I know my phone didn't die because I don't let my phone die. It's so weird, guys.
Oh, I got back in. Good. So I asked the defense attorney if the grand jury quashed Bethany Funk from having to meet the defense. He said yes. Well, that's not even anybody directly in with the case, right?
I asked the defense attorney if the grand jury squashed BF from having to meet with the defense. Oh, yeah, no, that.
But that's not anybody that's directly
Yeah.
connected to the case. I mean, they could basically say anything.
Could look it up. I don't know what's going on with my phone, though. This is so weird.
Mine's all weird, too. Quashed.
Just leave it on the charger for a minute, I guess. Very weird.
Hang on a second. I think I have something. Oh, it's this fucking Rolling Stone, so that's going to be a very left-leaning article. Let's see. I got something here. I'll pull the Rolling Stone one up if I have to. Okay, Bryan Kohberger, suspect in Idaho college student murders, indicted by grand jury. Let's see. Bryan Kohberger says faces trial. I hate all these pop-ups, man. All's bright 6 weeks. Exonerated Idaho. Attorney for Bethany Funk. Okay, an attorney for one of the surviving roommates, Bethany Funk, 21, had argued in a motion to quash a request. Okay, Riddler's all right. Quash a request for her appearance that the preliminary hearing was set up to establish probable cause and should not be become a mini trial.
When was that?
God, these pop-ups are awful.
I'll have to show you how to get the pop-ups away.
May 17, 2023.
Okay,
so let's say this.
I have something that says Bethany Funk agreed to an interview with Kohberger's counsel in Reno, Nevada, where she's from, according to court documents filed Wednesday in a district court in Washoe County.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could look at is, her attorney is just protecting her, to not have to try to deal with this until this goes to trial. Why put her through increased trauma? And again, I'm not an expert here. I'm just going off the top of my head. Any increased trauma, but I don't see that it's saying that the state is worried.
Yeah, and I mean, on this article, it's saying that she interviewed with Kohberger's counsel in Reno, Nevada.
Funk later agreed to meet with Kohberger's attorney in Reno, Nevada, in lieu of the appearing in court in Idaho for the preliminary hearing. A motion filed by the district court Wednesday in Washoe County, Nevada, said a district court arraignment hearing from Kohberger is set for Monday morning in Idaho, of course. So, I mean, she said no at first, and then she said sure, because he probably had to get advice from her attorney.
Yeah, mine was like a ABC an NBC news article.
But I mean, they even just said it in this article.
Yeah.
Funk later to agree to meet with Kohberger's attorney in Reno, Nevada. She probably didn't want to go back out to Idaho.
That's exactly what it was. I wouldn't want to go back up there. That would be PTSD.
We got the channel theories. Ready? We got a channel theory. Ready, Tanya?
Yeah.
Another channel recently said that Dylan and Bethany were communicating, and Bethany also saw the guy through a window after you left through the back door.
Who'd be looking out their front window for no reason? I mean, other than like at 4 a.m. I mean, unless you hear something. But I mean, why would you look out the window? I wouldn't look out the front window if I heard something, though, would you?
Tanya, Bryan was just driving around that night. Maybe people are just looking out their windows.
Like he's famous. Everybody, look out your window. Bryan's getting ready to drive by. That's what my caption would have been.
Driving around. I'm gonna pull that other one up that I made. So if everybody probably didn't see it, but I made this. Where is it? I dropped it in one of the Idaho groups, and people were going nuts over it. They loved it. This one, just driving around. That's it.
That's all he's doing. Whose body is he on? Is that him?
It's on Canva.
I know. I just like it because doesn't that look like? Did he get pulled over in a shirt like that color? Isn't that like the same?
Oh, it is. Oh my
God. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the same. It's the same like from the body cam.
Holy crap!
That's why I was like, how did he do this with the body?
Hang on here. I gotta see this.
Wasn't he wearing like a blue button up or something? I'm pretty sure he was.
I think he had a jacket on. Oh, he did. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I know my clothes.
I know my clothes.
I'm playing it real quick.
That's what he should have said. I was just driving around, going through the light. Sorry, just driving around.
I want to see.
Come on, Kohberger, show your shirt. I know it was blue.
It is blue because that's the thumbnail.
It does go. Yeah, it goes down to. I thought it like showed his shirt one point in the video.
Right there. There's the blue shirt.
Yeah. There he is.
There it is.
Video recorded. Yeah, no, I think you know why I stopped you. You were on the red light.
What actually happened was I was stuck.
I was just driving around.
Just driving around.
Yeah, I was behind you the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, you're not supposed to enter the intersection at all for that reason, because if the light turns red, then you're stuck in the intersection, and then you're on the red light. So that's the reason I stopped you. Do you have your license on you?
Yep.
Anyway. Well, we're at almost 2 hours. Yeah, Bryan. We're at almost 2 hours. I think we're gonna shut this one down for tonight. Are you streaming tomorrow, Tanya?
I think so. Yeah, I do every day. Every day.
I got.
Are you doing the members only or anything tomorrow? I thought about doing the members, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna do the Lori Vallow sentencing where she spoke.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be interesting. It's not going to be a long video, but
yeah, I don't like that woman.
Ew.
I listen because I was listening to it. Like I was listening to her the sentencing. It's beautiful. The judge is beautiful during that. I love everything he says. But when she was talking, you're in for a treat. I had to mute it because I was just like, I'm going to punch the iPad because she was like talking about being friends with Tammy and. Like, I was like, oh, Lori. But yeah.
So Kate asks, who pays for Kohberger's defense? Latah County? They're all they're saying they will get all this expert witnesses. Who pays? The taxpayers.
Just like Lori Vallow's trial, it was 3 or 4, 5 million.
The taxpayers.
And she had a public defender. Taxpayers, yep. That's why I feel like the people of Idaho, even if it's not us, the people of Idaho deserve to see this trial all the way through. I think that those people deserve to be able to see the legal process and have cameras and everything because it's their money at work. You want to see what's going on. I would be like, I would be adding it up and be like, I gave you all this much of my pay for the year. Like I want to make sure that this is going right and, going the way it should.
So John says, if Bethany saw someone, it corroborates Dylan. Jury will totally buy it. I love seeing you two have more discussions. I would love to see you two have more discussions on the Idaho case. Thank you. Yeah, we've been kind of building this, friendship here and jumping on each other's streams and helping each other out. We have fun when we do it.
We do.
All right. We're at 2 hours. I didn't really want to do 2 full hours, but I could not. I couldn't not have my buddy here on the panel and have some back and forth. And I want to thank Tanya again for jumping on. And if you haven't already and you're not familiar with Tanya, you can go over and check her out at the Titanium Built YouTube channel. She just passed 10,000 subscribers the other day. That's a phenomenal feat. I'm so proud of you for doing that. I'm getting close
You are. I
I got a
know.
little time. I got a little bit to go here, but it's killing me. I just want to get to 10,000.
Yeah, but once you get to 10,000, then you're going to want 15.
I want
I'm almost at it today.
100,000 after
I know.
that.
I know Vincent, like we were talking about our giveaways and stuff. And he's like, once you get, because he's like, because we've been doing like certain increments as we go.
Right.
And he's like, when you hit 100,000, you're going to have to like give away like $1,000. I said, shoot, that's worth it. 100,000. I said, I'll be
100%.
sitting there with my plaque. Yeah.
Right.
I want to make someone just as happy as I am at that moment. You know, I think $1,000 would probably help someone. So make sure you're
Absolutely.
subscribing, because that's not going to be until we hit 100,000 subscribers. I got a couple more zeros to add.
Anything is possible. Carrie H, if you see this again, email me at letstalklivepodcast@gmail.com. We'll get you squared up. I'll get out the $25 gift card to you. I'm just going to have you do something to vet who you are. So I think we're going to wrap this puppy up. Episode 51 is in the bank. I'm Bryan. I did this
sorry.
wrong way.
My
That's
phone turned
Tanya.
back on. I'm so excited. My phone turned back on.
That's Tanya, and that's going to end this episode of LTL Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Be well, be safe, be kind to everybody. See you again. Bye.